This is a reading of The Roots of Modern War by James Connolly, published in 1898 in the Workers' Republic magazine, transcribed by the James Connolly Society in 1997, and now hosted online at the Marxists Internet Archive. That's all I need to say for introduction, so on with the text. The cabinets who rule the destinies of nations from the various capitals of Europe are but the tools of the moneyed interest. Their quarrels are not dictated by sentiments of national pride or honor, but by the avarice and lust for power on the part of the class to which they belong. The people who fight under their banners in the various armies or navies do indeed imagine they're fighting the battles of their own country, but in what country has it ever happened that the people have profited by foreign conquest? The influence which impels war today is the influence of capitalism. Every war now is a capitalist move for new markets, and it is a move capitalism must make or perish. The mad scramble for wealth which this century has witnessed has resulted in lifting almost every European country into the circle of competition for trade. New machinery, new inventions, new discoveries in the scientific world have all been laid under contribution as aids to industry, until the wealth-producing powers of society at large have far outstripped the demand for goods. And now those very powers we have conjured up from the bosom of nature threaten to turn and rend us. Every new labor-saving machine at one and the same time, by reducing the number of workers needed, reduces the demand for goods which the worker cannot buy, while increasing the power of producing goods, and thus permanently increases the number of unemployed, and shortens the period of industrial prosperity. Competition between capitalists drives them to seek for newer and more efficient wealth-producing machines. But as the home market is now no longer able to dispose of their produce, they are driven to foreign markets. So it is in China today. The great industrial nations of the world, driven on by their respective moneyed classes, themselves driven on by their own machinery, now front each other in the Far East, and, with swords in hand, threaten to set the armed millions of Europe into terrible and bloody conflict in order to decide which shall have the right to force upon John Chinaman the goods which his European brother produces. Lavallee says somewhere that capitalism came into the world covered with blood and tears and dirt. We might add that if this war cloud now gathering in the East does burst, it will be the last capitalist war, so the death of that baneful institution will be like its birth. Bloody, muddy, and ignominious. And that's the end of the text. One quick note, the Lavallee that he cites is probably Émile de Lavallee, who was a Belgian economist. I could not find the source of that particular quote. I did a few quick searches and nothing came up, which isn't really a big deal. Anyway, it's a very good classic point he made about how modern wars are not really, great nations competing for their nations. It's really just capitalists fighting for markets, and that's something I wish more people understand. Hopefully, we can help make that happen. And unfortunately, he was not correct in his prediction that if the bubble would burst, then that would be the last capitalist war, because unfortunately, World War I and World War II and many, many other wars have happened since then, and unfortunately, capitalism is still here. So there is a little warning against making predictions that are a little bit too optimistic. Anyway, that's all for this. Have a good one, and don't forget, ruthless criticism of all things.